All right, let's take a look at the 3 at 3 today. I'll add them to my paper accounts. I did not get them all in today. I got two of the three and ran out of time, which that could be significant because if you got the trades in today, tomorrow's CPI prints. So the fact I couldn't get it in the last 40 or 50 minutes may just be realistic to what people run into. If they can't react to uh, John Najarian's 3 at 3 right then, or at least in the next 40 minutes. Um, I had about 5 minutes to get them all in. I didn't get them all in. So anyway, let's go to the ones that they have. And the first one was CCL, which is Carnival Cruise. And there were bullish call, huge number of contracts, February 12th, bought calls and on that. And I did not take this trade just because I was trying to get everything in by the end of the day. But it was interesting because by the time I got to it, um, Carnival had already gone up in price. It says they bought them between 10 and 14 cents, and I was able to get them for 24 cents. So they had already made money on that. And so that was, uh, something that you run into, right? Uh, that's realistic. And again, tomorrow morning, who knows what CPI is going to do? Could trash it or it could help lift it up. The chart for CCL, let's go back to it, was, it was it's right at the 200-day moving average and seems to be bouncing off of that and you know not not really in an uptrend, not really in a downtrend. It's kind of flattened out on the 200-day. They did report recently uh, and beat on the top and missed on the bottom with regards to earnings. They beat revenue, they missed. So, but it still ran up, and 1164 is the price. When they were trading for it was 1134. That's the reason why, excuse me, we had to pay more for the option contract. So they've already made money on it. How long they stay in it, I don't know with that large amount. The other one was one I'd never heard of, which was MLCO, Melco Resorts and Entertainment Limited. Well, obvious uptrend on a 200-day. We got some negative divergence here working. And so these were calls that were bought at 1350. Let me get to that so you can take a look at. So yeah, so it's a bullish call on this Melco and $13.50 calls they bought for between 30 and 35 cents, and they sold the 14 calls for 15 cents, and I believe that had gone up also by the time I reached and tried to purchase them. And again, it was very late in the day. He releases these at probably 3:10 or so. It starts at 3, but he may be done like 3:10, and I just wasn't available to make that trade right when he was there. I did not take the Carnival Cruise trade, and then on the uh, let's take a look. MLCO. Oh, it's right here. We wound up getting it for 40 cents, where they paid 30 cents, and then 20 cents on selling the call. So a little bit different. The price had moved. So um, it's an interesting looking chart. Um, you know, it's got most you can lose on one contract would be $20, and the most you can make is going to be 30. So it's a 1.5 times on the trade. And let's take a look at the chart again. So in the chart, almost looks like bull flag up here. Um, so yeah, it's not actually not a bad trade. I might have considered it, but again, this negative divergence here is a little uh, interesting. So I'm not sure that once I looked at that, I may not have taken this trade. But who knows what these other people know? They're market makers. Are we being manipulated? All those types of things come into play too. And then the last one was IWM. Now, he went through a whole series of things on previous trades. It's kind of screwed me up because I was trying to get everything done so quickly, and this was the last of the trades. So the real trade was just this one, was the bearish put. I'll have to go and smooth things over in the morning for my IWM trades. But 191.43 was the stock price when they made the trades. 52,000 March puts bought for 231, and the 181 puts were sold. So you had kind of both sides of this trade. And again, I don't have that in. I'll put it in the morning, but the stock price could have changed significantly by then. I just purely ran out of time. So that is the story for today for the 3 at 3. And just kind of taking a look at what things seem to be moving and which ones aren't. I haven't gotten out of any of the trades. They haven't hit 50% of the amount of premium that I paid, or gotten to a point where I feel I should be getting out of it. Although $159 for this and you're at 80, you've already made a 50% on the Starbucks trade. Again, when it's $159, I'm not, if I was trading it like myself, I'd probably go ahead and get out of it. I may do that tomorrow. But this one has till Friday. And I am actually anticipating the market goes up tomorrow. We'll see if that plays out. But the rest of them, still kind of hanging out. The semiconductor still has till April 21st. This one, MLCO, has to the end of the week. And I didn't see, did it have any, are they close to 10 days from earnings? So that's not far away. So this is all going to happen. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen before they announce earnings. And this Man United that shot up at the beginning is now, and again, I might have gotten out of that trade personally if I'd had some money in it. Let's say I had 20 contracts of that, and instead of that being 100, that would be 2,000, and I made 1,000 on it. I'd probably be out of that trade. But I'm letting it run a little bit. Just curious to see how it runs. And Kohl's moving along nicely already. What do we have? 118 in it or something like that for Kohl's. So it's doing fairly well. And the rest of them are just really early. I mean, even the Carnival Cruise Lines is an interesting one to me. Google still has till July. I'm not going to even think about getting out of that yet. This is the one I screwed up on IWM. The real estate trust down. This STM is down a little bit. Has till Friday. earnings call, or not earnings call, but the CPI tomorrow. Hmm, Western Union's been a nice trade. I actually traded that myself. I've made a little bit of money off of that. I have not sold yet, so we'll see. It's getting close, so I'll start making some determinations on these. Anyway, that's the trades that were today. I will do the best I can with IWM to see if I can fix some of the mess that I made there. Excuse me, in some way. But that will give you a sense. And as I close these, I'll put these on a sheet so that we'll know kind of how they performed. So that's what I wanted to cover today. And remember, I'm putting these together it's just an experiment. I may not keep doing this forever, but I may. I track these things myself. I'm just recording it is the only difference. So I'm looking for different ways to trade that might be better than the current ways that I have. And this for me is a good way to just kind of see how things go and how I do. And it's good practice, actually. So there you go. And I do not trade normally. A lot of these are very close to expiration dates, and that's usually not my trade. So that's what I wanted to cover in this episode. And remember, there is always a better way.